What's up, friends? This is going to be my first time using this Endoscope that I've had for like 5 years. I've never even put the batteries in. I got it as a Christmas gift years ago. So what had happened was I got woken up early this morning by my wife, who either saw a mouse or maybe a spider possibly scurry across the other side of the room. So I've been looking into any openings where that might have come from. I found a little gap here next to the hearth, between a bookshelf and a hearth, and we want to put this little camera down in there to see if that is a plausible spot where that mouse might have came from, and then I'm going to seal up that gap either way. But we're just curious if this little gap goes anywhere. So I just want to show you how this camera works. I'll put the brand name and everything in the title or in the description, and we'll see if it's actually very useful. I've never even put the batteries in, so we'll see how it works now. All right, so we'll just open this bad boy up. Came with batteries. I'll look into this stuff in a second, but basically this is the Endoscope, and I just noticed, I've looked at it briefly, that the actual camera wire is stored in the back of it here. I think this one's like a 3-foot cable, so it'll allow us to see most areas. Next, I'm gonna put in the batteries and we'll just turn it on. We'll kind of learn about it as we go here. So I think the batteries are in here. So we just got a screwdriver. There's a little Phillips screwdriver right here on this end. And I'm assuming that this is where the batteries are. These look like instructions, so you could probably read those if you would like. I'm just gonna go for it. But it is nice that it came with instructions. We will see what's behind door number 1. Ooh, it's a battery slot. So we'll get these batteries put in and then fire it up. Okay, that should be good. Put the cover back on. A little screw went. Make sure to hold on to this little tiny screw so it doesn't get lost. And we'll take this cover off and figure out where the on button is. Well, it looks like the camera works. Looks like it's a little bit blurry. This one turns off the on and off the light and adjusts its brightness. And that definitely helps the image quality. You can see my face a lot better here with the different light intensity. And then this upper button here just changes the screen display. Let's look. That looks like a pretty simple machine. So the light, the screen display, rotates the image, and this is zoom. This zooms in, zooms out. So that's pretty handy. And that's all there is to say with this. So now we'll stick it back in the hole and see how it works. A couple other pieces. So I'll put this up on the screen in case you happen to be watching this video and have this tool and don't have the instructions, but that diagram tells what everything does and what everything is. So this little packet has a hook accessory, magnet accessory, mirror accessory, and collar accessory. You'll have to look elsewhere to figure out what all those things are for, because we don't need those today, but we'll carry on with this project now. Turn this thing on now, and this area is the problem. So we wouldn't really get any view down there without a little camera like this. So I'm gonna turn it on. We'll see what even shows up on your end. Let's see. Okay, there you are. And now you can see me talking to you. So the camera definitely works. And mind you, this camera is years old. Hasn't been used since I got it. So anything you buy out there is only going to be better quality camera and image and everything. Especially going into the opening, we want to be zoomed out. So right there it says 1.8 to 1.0, and then get the light turned on, which is right this button. So I'm going to turn on a little bit brighter, and now we'll see how the image of the image works. So you can see that that is the brick. I'm just looking at the bricks here. So recording, putting the camera down into the hole would actually be quite boring, and you're not going to see much, but this is proving to be a useful tool. I just wanted to talk about the screen here. This is where the zoom is indicated. So right now it's at 1.2. This button is the light, so you can make it brighter or turn it all the way off completely. Obviously you can see me a lot better when it's as bright as it goes. And then this button down here flips the display, because when you're fishing that camera around behind corners, it's going all sorts of different angles, and it sometimes you just need to recenter it. It definitely is tricky to keep in mind where you're looking. I've worked with sewer cameras a lot, and like really expensive multi-$1,000 sewer cameras, they'll have self-leveling devices, but a cheap little Endoscope like this isn't going to have a feature like that, where you're gonna have to kind of keep track of that yourself. And then this top button up here just controls the display. What I found out, this tool is super helpful for the occasional time where you need it. What I've found with this issue that we're facing is there's a gap between the fireplace hearth and a bookshelf, and it goes back a ways, and then that led me to go look outside, and there's a spot where the siding, and I'm gonna show you in a second, there's a spot where the siding and the foundation and the chimney meet that I'm gonna put the camera next to, because I have now a suspicion that there's a gap there where a rodent might be able to get up into behind this bookshelf. So once I verify that, next thing I'll be doing is, and I've got other videos for this, I'll try to link it, but I'm gonna fill it with some expanding foam and some copper wool so they cannot get in there anymore. This tool is useful. I would recommend having one around if you can budget, if you can have it in your budget for the occasional time where you need something like it. So this tool was really useful. I'm gonna verify, but right there at that junction, that's a spot where I'm pretty sure there's enough of a gap that a rodent could get in there and then get in that little gap by the bookshelf. So I'm gonna verify it now with my little spectroscope. I might even just use my phone camera to sneak down there and look at it. But I do think that the tool came in handy, and it is nice to have around. I don't think it's a need for most average homeowners, but there's also a lot of automotive applications where if you're looking for something in your car that you're trying to fix, it's really handy in that type of a scenario. So I would put it in the nice to have category for your typical DIY homeowner, but probably not a needed tool for most applications, but it's nice to have. So we'll see what I find here in this gap now. Anywhere we have junction points, you're gonna have a more likely chance of having gaps that are harder to seal. And I am just sneaking the camera down there best I can. It looks like, and you know, maybe the image isn't that good, but it looks like that gap is suspicious. I'm gonna take some expanding foam and I'm gonna stuff this gap inside and outside with the copper wool, and then we'll spray the expanding foam in there, and then I won't worry anymore about rodents getting in at this spot. So that's called exclusion work. There's a couple other videos I've made on that kind of stuff. Doing proper exclusion work as you find gaps and openings is astronomically more effective than just having bait boxes and traps set out all the time. So a lot of pest control companies, they do exclusion work and baiting and trapping and all that stuff, and you really want to focus on the exclusion work. That sums it up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'd love to hear in the comments if you have any experience working with spectroscopes. Maybe you're a tradesperson and you use them all the time. Let's hear about it. Have a great day.